A meditation on the Gospel of John, chapter 8. I do not condemn you. This is, as I call them, an in-the-skin meditation. So I invite you not to listen to it, or to picture it, or to imagine it, or to think about it, or to apply it, but to actually be in the skin of the people, the main character of the story, and through that person to encounter in yourself what Jesus did for that person, was for that person, and gave that person. So I invite you to close your eyes. She was afraid to look behind her. The woman was truly, not figuratively, caught in a trap. She trembled, for each of the men who had thrown her down before this teacher held in his hands a stone. She broke the law, hissed the oldest among them, and according to the law she should be stoned. What do you say? Another added. Yes, teacher, tell us what we should do. The woman was a pawn in their religious debate. They didn't care about her. The one they really ultimately wanted to punish was Jesus. So what do you say? Another called out testily. The woman turned her eyes to the quiet stranger who would decide her fate, life or death. She shuddered, perspiration running down her back, each passing second spent in the hot sun and agony. The rabbi looked around at the growing crowd, the anger and hatred for him palpable. Perhaps he was looking for the man, since the law of Moses decreed that in cases of adultery, both the man and the woman should be stoned. At last, Jesus turned his eyes toward her, eyes that looked straight into her soul, eyes that warmed her with a sense of safety. No one had ever looked at her that way before. It was as if she and Jesus stood alone, he carrying her fear, she trusting him. Jesus glanced again at the growing mob, then lifted his gaze again, looking far off, remembering words from the beginning of his ministry. How blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed the meek, the single-hearted, the peacemaker. Simple words that tested a person's intentions and desires, if they truly heard them. Sighing, he bent over, picked up a stick, and began to draw lines in the dust as if he had forgotten the rock-wielding crowd altogether. So tell us, do you agree with the law of Moses or not? One of the younger of the group asked, with just a touch of uncertainty in his voice. They had clearly been expecting an argument. Jesus straightened up. Let the one among you who has no sin go ahead and start. Enter into the experience of this woman caught in adultery. Experience her fear, her shame, her uncertainty about her future. What does she think as her eyes follow Jesus the only one standing between her and death? What is in her heart as the crowd tries to pick a fight with Jesus about the law of Moses, seemingly having forgotten her altogether? What was it like for her to be a case study, so to speak, and not a person whose life had meaning far beyond their argument or her mistake? This woman may be you in some aspect of your life. We may struggle with an ongoing weakness that is uncomfortably visible to others. Or maybe we've made a mistake, slipped, or been rushed into a choice we now bitterly regret. And now we stand alone, abandoned, with the consequences we are forced to carry alone. Or you might merge with the crowd, a stone clenched in your fist, arguing about issues of morality without seeing the faces of the people involved. Hear in your heart the Beatitudes spoken from the heart of Jesus, and acknowledge the spiritual wrestling they cause within you. How blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed the meek, blessed the single-hearted, blessed the peacemaker. In the end, the crowd left, and the woman stood alone before Jesus. She had been a ploy in their strategy to trap him. Now that the game was over, they didn't need her. Has no one condemned you? Jesus asked the woman. No one, sir, she answered quietly. Then go. Neither do I condemn you, but do not sin again. It wasn't a threat. It was a compassionate mercy of the one who could help her find the meaning of her life. He had given her new life in more ways than one. With his final words, he ushered her from death into life. He held out to her a future now bright with hope. Take a few moments to experience the look of this gentle teacher on you as he asks of you, has no one condemned you? As you hear these words, you know your weakness, you know your sin, you know what you regret, you know what you want to hide, you know decisions you've made you wish you could reverse. Has no one condemned you? Jesus asks. No one, sir, we answer. Then go, he says, to you and to I. Neither do I condemn you, but do not sin again. It isn't a threat. It's a compassionate mercy of the one who can help you and I find the meaning of our life. Just as Jesus had given this woman new life in more ways than one, he gives you life. He gives you life. With these words, he ushers you from death into life, and he holds out for you a future bright with hope.